I think of the word hood, I think of a person, a place, and perhaps even a thing. I'm Sir Creepsta, and welcome to Muhlenberg County Ghost Stories from the Hood. Tonight's tale of terror is entitled House of Ghosts and Demons, the Beginning. So, sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and be terrified by yet another ghost story from the Hood. In the past, I was able to deliver to you 3 stories involving what I personally deem as being the House of Ghosts and Demons. The reason is, according to eyewitnesses and personal interviews with a few of the people who have occupied the house throughout the years, and all of the paranormal things that have taken place within its walls, there was no other way to properly describe it. I mean, upon first hearing the stories, I was completely blown away by them. Had it been me living in the house, I would have packed up everything that I could and got the hell up out of there. But seeing the stories come from friends of mine who were kids at the time, as well as one of their relatives, Little Rick, who had inherited the house, I completely understand why they stayed. But before I go any further, please don't forget to treat the like button like it's an unwanted roach and smash the hell out of it. Also, click on the little bell icon so that you can stay in the loop and be notified each and every time I drop a brand new video. In my first story, I spoke of a friendly ghost who, from other sources, went by the name of Mr. Hubert. He was the first one to occupy the house that he lived in. And according to one of my older friends, from whom I had gotten his name, Mr. Hubert was a kind-hearted man who mainly kept to himself up until the day that he sadly passed away in the house, somewhere around the mid-1950s. It was somewhere around that time that the family of my second part of the House of Ghosts and Demons moved into it. It was the husband, along with his wife, and 4 children. 3 boys, Gene, David, and Gary, and 1 girl named Teresa. All the boys were healthy as can be, but unfortunately for Teresa, she suffered from both a mental and physical birth defect that left her crippled with a hump in her back and unable to speak properly. After the initial visit from Mr. Hubert, the friendly ghost with the kids, the family, adults included, really never paid much attention to the tricks he would play around the house. As I had mentioned in my second part of the house, it wasn't until the older brother, Gene, gifted his 2 younger brothers a Ouija board that things within the house would take a dark turn for the worst, diving head first into the world of the supernatural. Dark entities always seem to go after the ones most vulnerable. And in this case, it was none other than poor helpless Teresa. Unable to ward off any attack from the dark forces, put out by the boys improperly closing out the Ouija session, Teresa's body became a vessel of the Lord knows what kind of demon, causing her to act out erratically at all times, with vicious attacks on both her parents and 2 younger siblings. According to the boys, dishes were broken by her all the time, and any object that could be used as a weapon, such as knives, forks, and even spoons, had to be locked away from the safety of the family. Not being able to pinpoint what was going on with her daughter, the parents were just left helpless, causing them to pick up her Bible and ask God to give them the answers on how to go about saving their child from harming herself as well as anyone in the house. This would go on for months in the home, and just the other day, the previous owner of the home would tell me yet another part of the story. that he had left out previously. Just so I wouldn't leave anything out, I decided to record it. And here's how our short interview went. Sorry, what happened that first day? What happened? What happened up there? On the day, what happened on that day with your grandparents?
Talking about my aunt?
Yeah, what happened that day? What happened that day with your aunt?
Here's what happened to my aunt. My dad gave me a phone call, said that my aunt Teresa was off her medication. So she walked up to her to her mom and dad and said, "Get out of my house, get out of my house." So as my dad called me, so I went to my grandparents' house and said, "All right, here I am." I said, "Where's she at?" So as my aunt was going off in the room, so she took off out of the house, went down the road down here on 620 North 1st Street, ran down here by Ronnie Baker's house, where he lives at, right here by this KU place, ran on the tracks. As I chased her down, I tackled her. When I tackled her, so I grabbed one arm, Dad grabbed one arm. That's his sister. He asked, "Teresa, what's wrong with you?" She said, "Get off of me, get off of me, get off of me." That's what happened. So she picked it straight up off the ground with one arm. So as we called the ambulance came over right here by Cunningham Church. And when they put the straps on her, as soon as they drove off, she broke the straps off of it and went Looney Tune. After that, that's the story. I don't know.
Where they sent her to?
They took her to
Western State?
Muhlenberg County Hospital.
Okay, then they sent her to the Western State.
And then after that, then they did whatever they had to do to the Western State.
Okay, I got you, brother. After the last outburst by Teresa, she was put into a home for a few years, and the paranormal activity tended to die down in their home. Upon her return back home, her parents would pass away, one after another, and Teresa would be put into long-term rest home facility, where she stayed until the day she died. That's all for now, folks. Be on the lookout for more stories to come. I'm Sir Creepsta, and until next time, stay terrified. Ha 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 ha.